Hello, my name's Revenge, and today I'm going to be replying to the fallout that has happened over the last 24 hours. This video in specific is not going to be about where. It is going to be about the friends that have disappointed me. And I won't name them specifically out of respect for them, even though they are not really deserving of my respect. There are three quote-unquote friends I would like to respond to, and I have given a pseudonym to each one. Their code names will be as follows: Fallout, Short Fuse, and Shirley. Let's start with Shirley. The following screen caps you're about to see are censored for the sake of Shirley's privacy. I want to start with Shirley in particular because they were just such a joy to talk to. Gish galloping, non sequiturs, irrelevant conclusions, you name it. It was just a shower of logical fallacies. He has a particular fetish about argumentum ad hominem. Going for low blows like calling me something along the lines of a jobless, lifeless loser that spends way too much time on the computer. And Shirley, if you're watching this, and I know you will be, I could have easily gone as low as you because there's a ton of shit on you that I could have easily exploited, but I didn't because I'm not a piece of shit like you. Just to give you an example of what I'm talking about, let's just say it involves some pictures. And I didn't use that because I have more faith in my arguments than my insults. And as for your petulant insults, how about you back the fuck off and don't act like you can comment on my life when you haven't talked to me in almost a year. Because really, Shirley, you don't know shit about my life. And as for your argumentation, holy shit, your argumentation is the verbal equivalent of popcorn, all flavor, no substance. I haven't seen this many logical fallacies ever since I called out IR Tech on his bullshit. You like to act like you're the smart person and always like to take the moral high ground when really, you are probably one of the dumbest people I have ever debated with in my entire life. How about we spell out the list of logical fallacies that you use throughout this entire argument? First, let's start with the Gish-Gallop fallacy. The Gish-Gallop fallacy is a slimy debate tactic where you hammer out as many points as you can to disorient your opponent. You were going so fast that I literally had to tell you, hey, Gish-Gallop, slow down. That was strike one. Your second strike was non sequiturs. You started arguing about things that weren't even related to the discussion, like the amount of time I spent on the video. What does it matter? That's not an argument. And then you start saying I spend way too much time on the computer. Also not an argument. And why are these not arguments? Simply put, they don't affect the reasoning behind why I made the video. They are bullshit. They are popcorn. Your third strike was argumentum ad hominem. You try to get really personal with me and try to insult me to make me lose my cool. And as you see in the fucking chat logs, I did not call you a single name, but yet you want to act like a fucking child even though you're probably twice my fucking age. I'm 22, mind you. And yet, you want to call me immature. I mean, seriously, how disingenuous can you get? And then you try to act like you don't care about the situation, yet you cared enough to make a fucking vague post about it. You cared to keep talking to me until I disproved every single one of your fucking bullshit arguments. And on your shitty vague posts, you lie about my usage of a mediator. I tried a mediator with Where, it didn't work, but you would like to ignore that fact because you are a disingenuous cunt. I mean, seriously, Shirley, you are such a fucking liar. I mean, is there even a shred of dignity and honesty within you? I can easily debate circles around you and bury you under your own fucking bullshit. Don't even fucking try me. The fact that you were perfectly willing to lie about me and you were perfectly willing to use so many fallacious popcorn arguments really shows how much of a dishonest person you are, and I would recommend anyone that ever meets you to avoid you like the fucking plague. And if you don't like what I'm saying, you know where to reach me. Come talk to me. Otherwise, stay in your ego-fueled bubble. Now that we've got that man-child out of the way, it's time to move on to Fallout. Once I posted my video, they wasted no time responding to it, and oh boy, is it the epitome of cancer. They write, quote, "Also, Ware is not spreading rumors at all. That misinformation is admittedly my fault. I was communicating with Ware and Kat at the same time to try and get both sides of the story. For that part, I am sorry, but you seriously need to chill. Ware recently went to a counselor and has PTSD over what..." Oh, god damn, that was funny. So you mean to say that Weretoons has the exact same disease that soldiers get when they see their beloved friend's brains splattered all over the wall right in front of them? Yeah, no. Let me explain why that is completely false. First off, I live in a military family. My grandpa served in World War II. My Uncle Perry served in the Vietnam War. My brother has been serving in the military since 2006. Plus, I have connections with someone who has worked in the U.S. Army Civil Affairs, which is basically human relations with the local populace, evaluating needs of that local populace, taking that back and presenting those needs to find a way to get them. One of my anonymous investigators asked, "There's a person that I know who started manipulating people close to them, me included, and then when they got called out on it, first they said that autism was the reason they did it, and then they said that it was PTSD. He responded in kind, well, people with PTSD usually are more detached than manipulative. They don't want to overly talk about the shit they are going through and are more prone to outbursts. There are a few cases of the manipulator types, but they are almost always manipulators to begin with, and it is no worse due to the PTSD." And then my investigator asked, "So this person constantly posts drawings that show her character being abused, but when people ask what's wrong, she'll tell them it's nothing. She used her quote-unquote disorders as an excuse when people criticize her, calling people out. And she hops from one group to another once the old one stops feeling sympathetic for her. Is any of that something that PTSD would cause?" To which our civil affairs guy replied, "PTSD causes a certain set of symptoms, nightmares, reliving of the events, avoidance of situations, crowds, loud noises, etc., negative changes in feelings, keyed up, aka feeling cut off in some way or holding it all in." And if you don't believe our civil affairs guy, there is a source in the description describing the symptoms of PTSD. So, Fallout, I only see 4 scenarios that are possible here. Either you're lying to me, Ware's lying to both of us, Ware's lying to her doctor and us, or the doctor is a complete quack that doesn't know how to diagnose PTSD and needs their license to perform revoked. And if it's the latter 2 of the scenarios that are the most likely, then I would just love to have an audience with this doctor so I can call out his bullshit and Ware's bullshit. And regardless of the scenario that happened, it is honestly disgusting that you would use a disease as serious as PTSD as a way to deflect criticism. A disease that has plagued the soldiers that have fought for this country and sacrificed their sanity so you could live in a comfy home. A disease that has taken or ruined the lives of people and families. There are still veterans out there with PTSD who are homeless because they have been driven insane by the drums of war. And yet you think it's this magical disease that will automatically deflect all criticism because, hey, they have PTSD. That makes them immune to criticism because they have no control over their actions and thoughts. And honestly, if Ware is so traumatized that her trauma is interfering with her cognitive ability over what happened to her on the internet, she shouldn't be on the internet in the first place. But if you want to talk psychology, I'll talk psychology. If I am to be perfectly honest, I find it kind of concerning that Ware is attaching to you like a mother figure. Often in the world of psychology, that is very indicative of some serious problems. But what do I know? It's not like I haven't studied psychology and sociology. Let's face it, your story and excuses are more porous than a sponge filled with bullshit, and it's leaking all over the floor. Clean it up, please. I could maybe understand if Ware was threatened at knife point or gun point, or maybe even abused as a child, or maybe saw one of their friends disemboweled in front of them with their intestines hanging out of their stomach. But no, she has PTSD over her friends leaving her.
No! Not fucking possible!
And on top of that, Weretoons is a grown-ass woman. She is at least 18. Stop infantilizing her. The more you infantilize her, the more you enable her bad behavior. You're 28 fucking years old, and yet you're infantilizing someone that is 10 years your junior. And if you really loved Ware like a quote-unquote mother, you would stop infantilizing her because it will ultimately detriment her in the future. She can't always have some sort of mother figure holding her hand throughout her entire life. And if she has these expectations that if she just searches for a mother figure, everything's going to be alright, she's going to be in a world of pain. Especially now since she's an adult. Ware needs to grow the fuck up, and you infantilizing her, acting like her surrogate mother figure is not going to help her. Especially when you make constant excuses for all of her bullshit. She can't just go into a workplace and go, oh, I have autism, oh, I have PTSD after every fuck up. Eventually, she will get fired. Because the harsh reality is the workplace doesn't give a shit about what you're diagnosed with. They want results. Good ones. And if you don't produce said good results, they'll kick you on the curb so fast that your head will spin. This coming from someone who's been in and out of jobs before. They didn't care about my autism. They only cared about if I washed the dishes fast enough, or put the right toppings on a pizza, or sanded a wall to the right amount of smoothness. I would get on thin ice just for looking at my phone for 2 fucking seconds. Because unfortunately, life isn't all sparkles and rainbows and Bendy and the Ink Machine. It's cruel and demanding. And if your friend's not liking the bullshit that you do puts you into a deep depression, oh boy, you are going to be in a world of fucking pain with reality. When you have to deal with bills, food, and just life in general. As for your little misinformation thing, I gave you a chance to rectify that when I tried to open a dialogue with you, but you wanted to be closed-minded and cut me off. And you only chose to speak to me when I brought all this bullshit out in public. You even blocked me on Skype without even telling me. I had to find out from Kat. I don't want to say that's incredibly dishonest and slimy, but that's incredibly dishonest and slimy. I gave you a chance to rectify your mistake before I even put it out there, but you chose to ignore me. Also, if Ware wasn't spreading rumors about us, why did you block me and not tell me? What exactly did I do that warranted you blocking me on Skype? You could have just come to me and asked for my side of things and asked me what happened. But nope. You did the cowardly thing and just blocked me and didn't even bother investigating any further. You're like the USA government. and I honestly have a very hard time believing a single word that comes out of your mouth. But now that I've settled the fallout with, Fallout, it's time to settle the score with Short Fuse, and just like his name, this will be rather short. Never, in all of the time that I've worked with you, have I seen such willful ignorance and closed-mindedness, on top of very bad decision-making. The first mistake you made was thinking that you were irreplaceable. No, son. Let me start off by saying that you weren't my first pick in the first place. The only reason that I picked you was because the group begged me to add you. On top of that, you did a passable job and the fans liked it. Your second mistake was letting your rash emotions make the decisions for you. I understand that we're human and we make decisions based on emotion sometimes, but sometimes even humans can reel in their emotions and realize that we need to have reason over emotion. And I'm honestly glad that you showed me this side of you, because I don't want someone on my team that makes such brash, irresponsible decisions on a whim. If I'm going to hire someone to be on my team, I want someone that is cognitively stable and someone that is mature enough to have a discussion with me rather than just blocking me. Before I close out this video, there are some closing thoughts I want to wrap up. First off, some people said, if Ware was being a piece of shit, why don't we just ignore it? And to that, I answer that question with another question. Why should we let Ware keep manipulating and lying to people? Why should we sit with our thumbs up our asses and go, she was a bitch? Especially when we know the lying and manipulation won't stop with us. Compulsive liars and manipulators like Weretoons tend to be sort of a slippery slope, pushing the boundaries of how far their lies will go. And as her former friends, we are not going to enable her. In addition to this, if we didn't make it, somebody else would have. Another question we often got was, why make the drama public? Simple answer, because we tried opening up a conversation for Ware, but she refused to reply, and as a matter of fact, blocked us. So in order to circumvent her self-triggering safe space, we decided to make the video public in order to reach her. We tried all means of trying to communicating with her, reaching out to mediators, her friends that she hadn't blocked yet, etc. I even sent one of my anonymous investigators, who was a person that she didn't even know, to try and earn her trust so we could possibly open a dialogue that way. Spoiler alert, no response. And surely, if you're wondering why we didn't reach out to you when all this went down, 1, you're always busy, you haven't talked to the group in over a year, so you don't know jack shit about what's going on. 2, we didn't feel like dragging people who weren't in the situation into it. Because, in case you haven't noticed, Shirley, that's sort of a dick move where we come from. And finally, as I'm recording this video, I find out that Weretoons has suddenly made friends with Rebornica again, despite her having a very vicious feud with her for the past year and talking shit behind her back.
Excuse me while I leave the human race to do the polka.
For those of you who don't understand why this is very confusing and irritating, is because Ware has been in a nasty feud with Rebornica and her friends for quite a while now. Ware would bawl her eyes out every day about how Rebornica was a big ol' meanie poopy pants. And don't even get me started on the smear art. The smear art, oh my god. It literally looks like something an abused child would draw. And you mean to say that after all of this time, all of these tears, and all of these talks, all this stress we've been through just to help you, you happily jump back into Rebornica's arms like a Stockholm wife? You know what, Ware? I'm done. I am so fucking done. I''MFUCKINGDONE. I'm fucking done. I mean, I can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. We would spend hours in a fucking Skype call with you complaining about how abusive Dio was to you, and yet you're friends with them again? What?
This is so fucking stupid, it hurts!
I mean, I've lost my ability to even, I can't even. Stick a fork in me, cause I'm done like a roast. I am fucking roasted, bro. This is Revenge, and I hope to hear from you soon.
Nothing but death, nothing but death, nothing but death and destruction. Bad breath, armpits, terminal acne, nothing but death for me.